Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. You can follow me on X Twitter at Movies TV Mad and on Instagram and on Threads at Movies TV Mad X. A very warm welcome to Wednesday's edition of the Movies TV Mad Daily. I apologise for being in a top and my boxers, but it's like 40 plus Celsius here in Cyprus, so I'm not putting a shirt on, I'm not putting trousers on, I am sorry. So a short disclaimer before we start today's video. You've seen today's title, you've seen what we're going to be discussing. Russell T Davies will always be a hero of mine for bringing back Doctor Who in such a fabulous way. I concede that the Doctor can regenerate into any humanoid, white guy, white woman, black guy, black woman, Indian guy, Indian woman, a trans Doctor, whatever. I concede that. I don't have an issue with that. There's a few disclaimers there. Because recently I've been hearing Russell T Davies talking about his most recent written Doctor Who episode, Dot and Bubble. And apparently, if we didn't have a problem while we were watching the show for the first time with the all-white cast, if we didn't see the twist coming at the end because of the all-white cast, we, my friends, are racists. How dare you put us on the stand, RTD? Now, I know the loony left believe there's a little bit of bigotry in all of us. Sometimes it's in the back of our mind. They believe we don't even know it's there. Yeah, nobody's perfect. We all have preconceived ideas. But here's the thing. You work for a corporation who had a man called Jimmy Savile working in it. Using his influence, he used to be let into a children's hospital and he abused those children. Many people came out when all this came out. I mean, we're talking about crimes against children, crimes against fucking humanity here. Cruelty committed by the entertainment industry. Weren't you around the BBC at that time, Russell? Did you know about Jimmy Savile? I'm not saying you did, but I'm alleging maybe you did. Maybe you heard something, right? If you did, we know that Dame Esperanza came out and said she knew. She formed Childline, but was never really protecting children. So how can you put me, your audience member, on the stand? How can you call me racist because I didn't have a problem with an all-white cast and because I didn't notice what was going to happen in the end? Let's be honest, Russ. You squeezed that racist bit in the end. But apparently it was obvious that they were racists. So what he's doing here is saying the reason the Doctor gets blocked because he's a black man. And the reason that Ruby Sunday doesn't get blocked is because she's a white girl giving Lindy compliments. This is where we are. This is not entertainment. This is not Doctor Who. This is not fun. How sad can it be that you see racism everywhere, even in places that it isn't RTD? And you're putting me on the stand and calling me racist. I was racially abused at school. I'm an Anglo-Greek Cypriot. I may look white, but I have olive skin. If I grew my hair, I would look even more foreign than I look now. I'm an Anglo-Greek Cypriot. My parents were born in Cyprus. They came over here because of the war, between Turkey and southern Cyprus. Because in northern Cyprus, it's Turkish Cypriots, and in southern Cyprus, it's Greek Cypriots. Some of you may not know that. And there was a big war, thanks to the English and American governments, stirring trouble between the two nations, by the way. But anyway, we won't go there. I'm not bitter. So I was racially abused. I remember walking home from school at a very young age. These two white lads poke their head out the window and they go, "Oi!" and call me the P-A-K-I word. I was so frightened. My hands were shaking. I sat in my room for about 3 hours shaking. I experienced a lot of things at school. We used to have to take showers with other boys at school in the nude. And because I was Anglo-Greek Cypriot and we matured quicker than the English white boys, they used to go, "Ew, look at Minas. He's hairy." Imagine that. So I put up with everything, Russell. Do you hear me going on about racism? Do I go on about, do I play the victim? Or do I smile every day and try and put smiles on other people's faces? That's the difference. Now, I may have mentioned this before, I'm going to mention it again. That brilliant interview between Morgan Freeman and the, high-profile interviewer, when, he talks about American Black History Month. And Morgan Freeman says, I don't want a Black History Month. And the interviewer goes, well, how do we solve racism? He goes, stop talking about it. Because the more you talk about it, the more you make a thing out of it. This is what the far left, the loony left have done. They've driven, white boys and men, moderate left boys and men into Trump's arms and Rishi Sunak's arms. That's what you've done. Because the way you talk, you accuse people of things. Mostly things they're not guilty of. While you think you can stand on a pedestal. Yesterday I read a quote from the showrunner of House of Dragons. Lots of people are idolising, I don't watch it, but I think I watched the first episode then quit. It's a good show, I just couldn't be bothered. And basically lots of people idolise Matt Smith's character. And this fucking showrunner went on a rant saying he's not Sean Bean's character from the original Game of Thrones. He's a bad person. You shouldn't look up to him. Who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you to tell me who I can idolise? Imagine if this was the showrunner of the 80s Dallas. And he goes, why are you looking up to J.R. Ewing? He's a bad man. Why don't you look up to Bobby Ewing? That's what we get, right? When did these fuckers start making monologues and talking down to us? I'm your fucking boss, the viewer. I'm your boss, boy. Get back to work and I'll tell you when you have a tea or coffee break. You're not setting the rules here. You're working for me. You're working for the viewer. You're working for the consumer. Same with Russell T Davies. You have no right to dictate to me. You have no right to tell me I'm a racist if I didn't notice something weird about the all-white cast. Actually, I did think it was a bit weird that it was an all-white cast, but I thought, hey, maybe, just maybe, he wanted to have an all-white cast. And I left it at that. But I suppose that means I'm a racist. But let me take you back to RTD1. Many all-white Doctor Who episodes. Many. Trying to think back in the Rose episode. Oh, there was one black man. Whoopie D. Episode 2, we had a black woman as the tree. Do you remember her? Brilliant performance, brilliant actress. Not many other, diverse people in that episode. The Unquiet Dead. Can't remember many diverse actors. Maybe there was some diverse extras, but it's hardly the same, is it? So if you go back, they got a little bit more diverse in the Moffat era in the end, but ultimately, RTD1 was very white. Very white. Now and again, yes, we had diverse characters. Now and again. Are you racist? Well, we know the entertainment industry are bigoted, where it's run by one DNA and they give each other work. Is there anything more bigoted and racist than that? But they have the cheek to say that they believe in diversity. Where's the diversity? You cast a woman of colour in The Acolyte that has Hollywood DNA, the usual DNA, and you think that's diversity. You're a fucking joke. And you've got the cheek to call me and my fellow Doctor Who fans racists. You angry white man. Yes, I'm an angry olive-skinned white man. I don't like being called a racist. I'm sorry, I don't. Maybe there is 10% of bigotry in the back of my head where I don't think about. But here's the thing, because let's look at Dot and Bubble. They've got all these white people making fools of themselves, say it's only white people who live in a social media bubble, not black people, not Asian people, not Indian people, not gay people, not trans people, just straight white people. Is that what you're fucking saying? You deluded hack. And I'm coming from a place of love. I love this guy RTD. I respect him, I look up to him. But in this case, You deluded hack. This is the extreme left propaganda. So black people aren't racist to white people, right? Maybe they've experienced a lot of racism in their time. Maybe you could even argue there's some justified. I was racially abused at school. Maybe I should hate white people, people born in England, you know, white people. I don't. I don't look at people as black, white, Indian, Asian, trans. I treat you on a level. Hello, my name is Jenny. Hello, Jenny, how are you? If I get on with you, if I feel a vibe, that's fine. I don't care if you're Jenny the trans woman. I don't care if you're Jenny the Indian woman. I don't care if you're Jenny the Asian woman. And I certainly don't care if you're Jenny the white woman. I don't care if you're a fucking alien. But this is where we are. The craziest people have taken over entertainment and the world at the worst time. And they're putting us on the stand. You're the ones who touch each other up. I mean, Mr. Davies, there were rumours that one of your cast members, one of your gay cast members was going around stripping off, waving his sausage in other cast members' faces. And they complained, and all that happened to him was a slap on the wrist. I've mentioned that before. But what about the actor? The rumour about one of the actors who played the Doctor, who went out and defended his cast and crew from toxicity from your production schedule, from your production, from your producers. It's even rumoured that you were part of that toxicity. It's even rumoured that you directly got this man blacklisted and caused his mental health issues. It's a rumour. I'm not saying it's a fact. So if I'm racist and Alan and Elena, who watch Doctor Who, I've just made them up, are all racist because they didn't see anything weird and they weren't offended by an all-white cast in this week's episode of Doctor Who, what does that make you? Because if those allegations are true, RTD, you are a bit of a problem, aren't you? Then there's Mr. Noel Clarke, who was accused of some disgusting behaviour towards women. But no one in the entertainment industry castigated him. He still denies it, by the way. I don't know if I believe him or not. I don't have any proof of wrongdoing, so I don't know. RTD still follows him, or was following him on Instagram. I'm not sure about right now. I don't check his followers list, 24 hours a day. I'm not watching. But I remember being absolutely stunned by that. So, RTD, you in your industry are famous for paedophilia. Not you personally, let me be clear. Let me say that again. Your industry have a representation of having a high percentage of paedophiles working for it, abusing child actors, women, young boys. And that everyone who works in that industry covers that up. How can you, a man who works in an industry, is such a corrupt industry, you certainly have knowledge of corrupt people and corrupt goings on. You definitely must have at least knowledge of that. How can you attack your audience and call us racists? Where were all the racist fans the day Sacha Dhawan was cast as the Master? Did they take the fucking day off? One of my favourite versions of the Master. Am I a racist? Am I a part-time racist? Or is it just the Doctor I don't want diverse actors playing? Well, it's not true. I don't have a problem. If Sacha Dhawan's cast as the bloody Doctor, the guy kind of played the Master and the Doctor in Power of the Doctor, an episode I really liked, leaps and bounds better than anything you've delivered in RTD2. And I'm talking about an era I didn't even like, the Chibnall era, but the guy pulled that off as far as I'm concerned. So, are we racists or not? Because your statement, Dot and Bubble is absolutely toxic. Now, in my review, I didn't really see the racist stuff so much. He's coming up with it now. I saw it an attack on toffs, on posh people. I was a bit half asleep to think, this is an attack on, white privilege. I didn't really think that. I just thought, this guy hates toffs. Because RTD has been gunning for white people, for fans who are white, because apparently we're all racist. Maybe Ncuti Gatwa just isn't a really good doctor at the moment. Maybe he will be. And he did perform that ending very well. Of course there's racism out there, and that point's an interesting point. They hate him for the colour of his skin so much, they're so blinded by their hate that they won't even allow the man to save their lives. But that's the same as you. When you cast someone you know that disabled woman you cast, and I keep on forgetting her name, it's only because she's a disabled influencer and she's famous and she's connected to you that you cast her. Why didn't you cast an unknown disabled actress and give her a chance? So it's fake diversity. Maybe she's even got that DNA the rest have, or a lot of entertainment have. We know Russell. What I'm saying, and Ricky Gervais was spot on here, and he wasn't joking when he said it. The entertainment industry is in no position to lecture the public, but still they do, lecturing us about who we idolise, which fictional characters we idolise, calling us racist because we didn't have a problem with a white cast. What's the twist this week with the good-looking guy in that period piece they're doing, Rogue, from the allotted Disney episode written by the showrunner of Loki Season 1. Oh, that's going to be fun. Can't wait to be called a fucking racist again. But you come from a criminal, corrupt industry, Russell. At least back in the old days, you were entertaining us. But now, and I mean, isn't it bigoted and racist to do what he did with those white characters? He made them look like twats, brainless twats that needed the internet to get by. But it's not just white people. All sorts of people are like that today. But they're deluded. It's a racist, bigoted episode, everyone. He's being racist to white people. He's being classist. He's doing he talks about hatred. But he hates white people. He's showing his disdain for straight white people in this episode. So isn't he being bigoted? Why has he got the right to be bigoted against white people? Why is that okay? Now, I said this on Threads yesterday. I spoke about how sad it is that RTD is seeing racism everywhere, even in places that it's not. And I was getting a lot of hate from, the crazies on Threads, because like all the people who left like Twitter X because they couldn't handle it have all gone to Threads. And God help you if you say anything honest or genuine. I was formulating an opinion. Have you ever heard the term of agreeing to disagree? No, not in this fucking year on 2020 fucking 4 and beyond. Oh well, I'm going to carry on speaking my truth. Not a universal truth, but my truth. So it's an insult. Will I continue to watch Doctor Who? Yes. Because I still get excited watching. Before an episode starts, I still have that. I'm still excited. I'm still excited for Doctor Who. Even though it's really, really bad and insulting and they're gaslighting their own audience like they're all doing today, I still get excited. I hope that each episode brings back that feeling I had after I watched Rose. But it's not happening. Not only does he do the episode Don Bubble, he has to come out and call people racist for not having a problem with the all-white cast. You squeezed that racist bit in the end. Now, obviously, you had a plan. You had a plan to put a bunch of white people and make them racist. But the problem is, when am I going to see the episode about the black racist people? No? You know, the ones who run around saying the H word all the time? Because it isn't just white people that are racist, the point that I made earlier. But we'll never see an episode like that, will we? We saw Die Hard with a Vengeance. We saw Samuel L. Jackson being very, very racist to Bruce Willis. But at least there was honesty with that. At least it was honest. That's how it happens. It happens. And, people from that culture may say, well, we're justified. We've been abused and vilified all our lives. I can't stand in your footsteps, and I can't say that but I think racism in all of its forms and hatred is bad no matter what we go through. I've told you about my experiences. I'm not racist against English people or white people. I feel English and my DNA is Greek Cypriot. But I was born and raised and bred in the UK. When I think in English. And as a kid, I've told you this story before, I came over here on our holidays to Cyprus. I'd be called a Charlie boy, a nickname for English boys. And when I went to England, I was called lots of different horrible racist names. I didn't belong anywhere. Imagine that. I'm a bit like Clark Kent. In Smallville, he doesn't feel like he belongs from Krypton, and he doesn't really feel like he belongs from Earth, even though he thinks like a human. That's why I've always identified with that character. Superman, Clark Kent, Kal-El, whatever. So it's interesting. A bigoted criminal industry calling their customers out when they're the biggest problem. The people making the stuff are the biggest problem. Because don't you think they should put their house in order before they tell us to put our house in order? We know our flaws. We know we're not perfect. Nobody is. Nobody's perfect. And the loony left want to create a perfect world. Well, human beings are not perfect. You're never going to create that perfect world. But the problem is, the loony left are as problematic as the rest of us. They're racist and bigoted against men and white people. And straight people. RTD hates straight white people. He did it in this episode. He made twats out of them. This is how he sees them. So, if I create a time traveling show, or I do a time traveling movie, right? And I do one about, we go back to the Jimmy Savile. And we see Jimmy Savile having drinks with all these wealthy entertainment people like Esther Ransom. She knows what he's doing. Have a good time at the hospital, Jimmy, yeah? If I do that, am I going to get applauded? Well, by some people I will. But by you, the entertainment industry, you'll find a way to make me the fucking problem, even though you're the fucking criminals. You are guilty by fucking association. But that's okay. If I do a movie about how the entertainment industry only costs its own and about the casting couch, will you like that? Do you all want to be accused of being bigots and paedophiles? Do you want me to do that? Do you want me to make media and say that you're all the same? That's what you're saying about me and my fellow audience members of Doctor Who. That we're all bigots, we're all the same. White people are all the same, all the problematic. Straight men are all potential rapists. Remember the hashtag, it's all men. That's how the loony left think. That's why we call them the loony fucking left. So, do you want me to do that? Should I do that? No. You wouldn't want me to do that. You wouldn't want me to name names. And believe you me, I know it all. I was raised by a gentleman who worked in this industry at a pretty high level. You won't know his name, but he worked for these bastards. So I know a lot. He taught me a lot, but I know the code. And I keep my mouth shut because there's no point. There's no point to make my name on things like that. I don't want to ruin people's lives, even though the stuff that a lot of these fuckers have done is horrible. But I'm not powerful enough to survive speaking my truth, that kind of truth. So I keep my secrets. And I keep their secrets because they're very corrupt, powerful people. Make no mistake about that. But you know what? I've kind of lived with that. I've accepted that. I grew up in that. But the point is, you can't be standing there after the way you conduct yourselves in that fucking industry. Because making entertainment isn't a good experience for the innocent people who work there, like the actors and stuff. Like the good people, I mean. That, you know, when they do those interviews and stuff and they say, oh, it was amazing, it was fun. It wasn't fun. They were treated like fucking shit. They were treated like little kids being sent down the mines like the old days, right? No one has a good experience working in that industry. They make it... I love the term, the magic of Hollywood. There's no fucking magic in Hollywood. It's a horrible, toxic fucking place. Do you think that Millie and Shooty stand there smiling while they're making Doctor Who? they probably hate all those fuckers they have to work for. Maybe they don't really like RTD either. At least they seem to be showing solidarity for each other, because at the end of the day, Millie and Shooty have only got each other in this experience. The fans are not showing them much support because Shooty's accusing everyone of being racist because he's being told to. Millie's saying a couple of things, but Millie's basically only saying what she's told to say, like Shooty. So and I love Millie, as you know. I've got a lot of time for Millie Gibson. She's a lovely kid, and such a talented kid as well. And she's been dragged into this. So I don't really blame Shooty or Millie. They're performers. They took a big gig. You can't blame them. And they're just echoing what they're told to echo. Here's the truth. I don't know in the back of my head if I've got 10% racism I don't know about. I don't know in the back of my head, because I'm a straight white dude, that I have a potential of being a rapist like the loony left think. I don't know that. All I know is what's in my heart. I get on with my life. I try not to hurt people by what I say, but I'm a law-abiding citizen, and I don't know what my potential is. Should we talk about the potential of the loony left? Nah, let's not. The loony left are the biggest threat to our society today, because back in the day they held no power. We could just laugh at them. But now they're in powerful positions, and it's frightening what they will think of next. Making an episode of Doctor Who and saying, look, it's all white, and if you don't have a problem with that, you're the problem. They do that a lot, the loony left, don't they? They do that a lot. Maybe I'm not the problem, though. I mean, no one wants to think they're the problem, right? But I don't think I'm the problem. But maybe I have got problematic views in there that I don't know about. Again, I don't know. But what about the entertainment industry? If you were holier than thou, right, law-abiding citizens that never abused anyone, I'd say to RTD, there you go, mate. You can look down on us. You can tell us what to think. But there seems to be a kind of role reversal here where the entertainment industry and the people working and the creatives think they're our commanders. They can dictate to us. They become little dictators. You should say this. You should think that. I said this earlier, we're your boss. You work for us, bitch. So do your job, as I said earlier, and I'll tell you when you can have a tea break. And I love it when they call us folks. You know you're dealing with an extremist nut job if they address the consumer as folks. They're the problem, everyone. They're the threat to our society. And all the good people are going to keep on fighting. And they'll call us ists and isms. This is what entertainment has become. I don't want to have this half an hour conversation like this. I told you at the beginning. RTD is an inspiration, a hero to me for bringing back Doctor Who. He was a genius, but he swapped genius for anger. He once chose love. Now he's chosen hatred. I'm asking you, RTD, and the rest of you in the entertainment industry, if you want to save your industry, choose love again. Because if you don't, and clearly you're quite happy to lose money, maybe you're trying to destroy capitalism. I don't know what the idea is. But you can't carry on like this. We can't. You can't expect us to keep on watching your shit. You have a go at us for not going to the cinema. The general audience sucks ass because Fall Guy and that Mad Max movie that wasn't Furiosa, that wasn't a Mad Max movie, flopped. We don't suck ass. You've got to compel us to go. You've got to compel us to watch your streaming shit. And you're not doing that because you're not giving us good shit. You're talking down to your own audience. You think that we are your bitches. But as I just said, you are our bitches. And if I don't want to watch your shit, I won't. And to Russell T Davies, a man I once looked up to and I kind of still do, even know what he's doing, I'd say this, that at the end of the day, I don't have to watch Doctor Who, but I am, because I love it. I don't want it to go away, because I'm hoping one day someone will remove your hands off its throat, and we can get someone competent and sane to be running Doctor Who again.